Hello and welcome to Tales from the Midnight Diary. My name is Gemma and I'm coming to you from my home in Kent, where I live with my husband, baby boy, 2 cats and a dog. It's been a little while. My last video was explaining why I have hung up the dye pans for now. This video is going to be back about all the creative things again, all the crafting. Yeah, excuse the fresh out the shower look. I've had a big day just blitzing the house and trying to get everything completely clear. My little one is crawling now and into everything, so everything had to go. We don't have a house with much storage. We live in a very old house with not a lot of space, and none of our storage solutions when we moved into this house actually fit from the old house, and we just never got around to sorting it out. So I've been quite brutal, and anything that doesn't fit just goes, because right now Robin is the priority. But what this gave me the opportunity to do was to have a bit of an evaluation of my works in progress, and I thought that might be a video that you would enjoy seeing. So while I've got a little bit of light, because it is quite late on Sunday evening, I thought I'd give that a go. Okay, so in the last few weeks I've actually made quite a lot. I think making the decision to not dye yarn anymore has really freed me creatively. So I haven't got them here to show you, but I've got a couple of finished objects. So the first one I did was this cowl. This is in West Yorkshire Spinners Retreat, which is a chunky roving yarn, so it's unplied. Really soft and lovely to work with. It's not machine washable, but I did the 3-colour cowl, and there was so much yarn left over at the end. I thought, I wonder, and I flicked through the book and found this hat, and it turns out I had enough yarn left to do the 3-colour. I did a 3-colour hat as well to go with it, and there is still enough yarn that I could do the fingerless mitts from the other page as well. So this is in the West Yorkshire Spinners The Perfect Retreat book, which has a great range of garments, albeit only for women, home accessories and accessories. So yeah, we've made a few things out of here now, and we've got a couple of things on loan as well. So we've got this jumper on loan and this cushion on loan. We've made this cushion. And obviously I've done the hat and cowl as well, and we've got a really nice bulky crop sweater on loan as well. So I've made that, and I'll put some pictures up if I can. They're currently in the shop window, which is really exciting. So I finished those. I also finished Julia's socks. I think I mentioned that last time. I finished Robin's cardigan. I'll put a picture of that up as well. What else did I finish? Dad's second sock, got that pair finished. All of these I'll put pictures up of. Oh, I also did, and again it's in the window, I cast on and cast off a sweater in a week for Robin. I taught a top-down sweater course at the Yarn Dispensary, which is my day job and the reason that the Midnight Dyery is taking a back seat. And my students encouraged me to cast on with them for Robin. So I cast on. Sorry, a little bit of context. I was doing the Flax by Tin Can Knits, not the Flaxlite, the Flax, and we were all casting on together. They did the smallest size, and basically the idea is in the day we got the sleeves put on hold, the shoulder caps I guess put on hold, and started the body, and you know, took away some of that fear of top down in the round sweater construction. My students encouraged me to cast on one as well, and Debbie chose the gold colour from Rowan Superwash Merino Worsted range, and I cast it on and off in a week. No idea who I am, no idea. At the moment while Robin is, sorry putting up my jeans, at the moment while Robin is a little bit small, I did the 1 to 2 years and he's only 10 months, so, and I didn't swatch, and I'm typically really loose with gauge, so while he's a bit small it's actually hanging in the shop window, so I'll put a picture of that up there as well. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I can't believe it's taken me so long to knit a flax. I feel like every man and his uncle has knit flax, you know, and his dog's best friend. Robin already has 2 flaxes in his collection, one by Jude and one by the Stranded Elf, which are both very, very precious. He's grown into Jude's one, he can wear that one, but the one from the Stranded Elf is a bigger size still, so he's got that to grow into. Which is really cool. I love that he's got those in his wardrobe, and I love the fact that I've managed to add one to it as well. So I've been quite a busy bee. I didn't finish the zap tank that I was making. I actually really struggled with that pattern, and having knit one front 5 times, I kind of threw it at Vic at work, and I said to them, can you give this a go, and just, if it's me, fine, but just tell me if it's me. And it turns out it's not me, it's slightly awkwardly written. Nevertheless, Vic got the front finished, picked up the armbands, the neckband, got it done, and it's in the window. So there have been a lot of finished objects in my life over the past few weeks. I don't quite know what's going on. The Crack Those Whips cowl has definitely helped. I've cheated somewhat in that a lot of them have been cast on and cast off, but let's have a little calorie look, shall we, and see what you guys have been cracking this year. Brings me on to whips. There are quite a few. I watched Kristen of Villain Vine's most recent video where actually she pulled out all her whips and kind of talked about why she'd stalled and analysed them and decided whether or not to finish your frog. And I thought about doing that, but I didn't think it'd be the sort of thing that people would find particularly interesting, but apparently you do. So yeah, we thought we'd give that a go. So first of all, I have a hoe. This is the Deconstructed Peacock colourway. I should have put it on a sock blocker, shouldn't I? Do I have one to hand? No. Deconstructed Peacock colourway, and it is a ginormous sock, which tells you that once again this is for my dad. So this is by Marcus, who is Viberpunk, and that is very exciting. And cast it on pretty quickly after I cast Julia's off, and after I cast Dad's second sock off. I've stalled a little bit with it, I've just been busy and doing other things, but yeah, finally got it finished and ready to cast on the second sock. I just love the colourways. I love how clean and crisp Marcus's self-striping is. So I do a cuff down, and I never join in around to start with, so you see I've got a tiny weeny bit of, where are we? There we go. Tiny weeny bit of sewing up to do just there, because I live in fear of getting it twisted. And the top looks like that with the blue because I do, it was Helen of Giddy Yarns. talked about it on her podcast, on her vlog. There. So she goes down to the point at which the colour changes. So you've got the kind of green here and the dark blue here. And that is the point she does the slip knot. And then she does a long tail cast on, and you end up with one row. And that's a really good way of getting matchy socks, or just a nice neat edge, which I really like. And so that's what I did for that one. So I do a slip stitch, heel flap and gusset for my socks, and the gusset decreases. When I pick up for the gusset, I always pick up an extra stitch in the middle to try and avoid that hole, and I always knit the gusset pick up through the back loop the first time I come around again to knit them, and again that just tightens everything up so you don't get any stretching. It's quite reinforced as well. So there we are, and grafted the toe together. So yeah, there we are. I'm really pleased actually with the grafting. I think this is possibly the neatest grafting of a toe I have ever done. It is basically invisible. So very happy with that. So I didn't cast on the second sock because we have had a delivery of our birthday yarn for the Aunt dispensary. So the Aunt dispensary is 7 years old, and if it was a marriage rather than a birthday, it would be our wool anniversary. And so Marcus, I commissioned him to create a special 7 stripes for 7 years colourway for us. And he's taken some inspiration from how much we all loved the deconstructed peacock, but he has added a beautiful navy and a hot pink in there as well. It's just, yes, we've got, this one is 5 stripes, yeah, and this one is 7, and it's called 3 Cheers for 7 years. And so what I've done is I've cast on a sock, and I don't actually intend to make these into socks. This is going to be a swatch, so half a sock basically. I'm going to get through all 7 stripes, and then I'm going to take this and use it as the colour work in a jumper for Robin. I may end up buying a second skein and doing socks as well, because it just feels weird not to use Marcus's yarn for socks. But you can do other things with self-striping than socks, and so I'm really looking forward to that. So that's some of what I've got going on my needles and hooks. Oh, slight segue into an acquisition. Look, Vic bought me this. How sweet is that? This is Lady Macbeth by Skein-Hawk Yarns. Yeah, man. Focus, please. Doesn't want to focus. But anyway, it's called the Lady Macbeth colourway, and if you are new around here, you might not know I used to be an English teacher. I'm also actually descended from Macbeth, which is a very peculiar claim to fame. And so I just had to have this colourway, and Vic bought it for me because Vic's just wonderful, and it's just really made my day. It was a really lovely surprise. So let's go through a whip audit. I did actually write my whip board, but something's happened to it and it's all basically got robbed out. So we're going to have to pretend that you can see, and in the meantime we're going to go through. So let's start here. So this is the Rosa jumper, and I'm doing the V-neck jumper, but I wanted a worsted weight jumper because that's the yarn I had. I wanted to use the worsted, which is Evie from Sublime. It's top down, and I'm about to join for the V-neck, and I just love the fabric I'm getting here, and it is so soft. It's a powder blue, and I was told by a lot of people don't do it, don't get it because it doesn't suit you, but do you know what, go for the colours that make you happy and make your heart sing. I'm sat here in a bright tangerine t-shirt that I got from Asda's because it's been hot and t-shirts are needed, and I didn't have any in my wardrobe, and now I look like a children's TV presenter. But you know what, I really enjoy the bright colour. It's a bit different for me, but I'm enjoying it. So yeah, it's got this really pretty lace on the raglan increases, which I'm really enjoying. I got so far with it and didn't get any further. I think I cast it on in February. Why did I stall with it? I think because there were so many other things I had to do. I can't remember what it was that was deadline knitting that was pressing me at that point. So there was that, and there was also a time element as well. I was able to knit quite a bit when Robin was tiny, and then it very quickly got to the stage where actually he needed me pretty much constantly, and so knitting was few and far between. But recently he's been going to bed and actually having a bedtime. Since he was about 9 months, so we've kind of been led by him because we don't know what we're doing, and he's a very happy baby, so I think we're doing something right. But yeah, for the last month or so he's actually had bedtime of around 6:30, 7, and so my husband and I tend to get an evening, so there has been knitting when I haven't been too exhausted. So am I going to carry on with this? Yes, absolutely. Just holding it is making me so happy. It is, I don't know if I've got a ball band here. No, it's all kind of disintegrated, but it is Sublime Evie, and it is, I want to say it's got cotton in it. It's 115 meters per 50 grams, so it is a worsted. It's just a bit heavier than a DK. What that is. It says on here somewhere 94% cotton, 6% nylon, so it is cotton. And it is just going to be, I really want it for this winter actually, the nicest, snuggliest jumper. So it's a bit of a hack. I did a swatch, and then I worked out what, let's try and get this over my shoulders, it's not going to work, worked out which size of the pattern I needed to do in order to come up with one that would fit me in a worsted yarn, because the Rosa cardigan by Longaveg Alla, it's similar to the Felix pullover. I'm not sure which one came out first, but I really like the V-neck of the Rosa. It's actually a 4-ply, but I wanted to do the thicker one, the faster one, and it was going really well, and then I put it down for some unknown reason. What's this? Oh, this is nice. This was an acquisition a while ago. A yarn by Jem, the little grey girl. It's not a colourway she's going to be repeating, and she very kindly gifted it to me, which was really lovely, and it just makes me very happy. And it's a rainbow yarn. Not sure what that's going to become. We shall see. Also in this bag of wonders is my Colour Lab hoodie, which I started back at Easter, and you might remember that let's just tilt this down slightly. Whoops! There we go. You might remember that I raced through this because I really wanted my little Henri nephew to see that I was working on it and to have something to show for it. It's a slip stitch design, which I just love. And then he went home and I wasn't going to see him for ages, and it was going to be summer, so he wouldn't need it for a while. And so I basically stopped working on it. There's also meant to be rainbow details and a rainbow hood, but he's asked for grey, which is fine. He can have whatever he wants, but it means there's a lot of grey. Again, put it down. I put it down because of the season, because it was going to be summer. There were other things I needed to do, and I was going to come back to this, and he didn't need it right now. I do want him to have it. I really want him to have the finished garment. I love knitting for my nieces and nephews. It just means so much to me. So I'm definitely going to be picking this back up soon. Okay, have I got anything else in here? No, I've got a whipping waiting, but I won't talk about that. Okay, this has just fallen out of the bag, so let's talk about it. It's oops, there is a plastic spoon in it. This is my crochet blanket. I was talking about maybe working on it every Sunday, trying to get a stripe done, and it's just not happened. I put it aside ages ago, but I will bring it out. It is definitely it's a beautiful scrappy blanket. It's made with advents from my friend Marcus, who is Fiberpunk. We did an advent swap for a couple of years. And I will definitely come back to it. I just put it down because it's a never-ending project, and like most never-ending projects, you wax and wane with them, don't you? Sometimes it goes really well, and sometimes you just want to do something different. I'm having some issues with my ginormous ball here as well. I've got lots of minis that are in the process of being wound up into a big ball, and it's all gone a bit Pete Tong, and that's got involved in it as well. Leftovers of my dad's socks, which are going to become socks for Robin, because my dad expressed a very fervent desire that socks I made for him, or any leftovers became socks for Robin. So that is also on the cards. Next is another shop project. Now I actually have only done about 4 rows of this, and then what I did was I used it to do a bit of a demonstration with a customer of something and ruined it. So I took it away to fix. I have now fixed it, but I need to carry on the actual knitting. So I'm co-knitting this with Vic at work. This is in West Yorkshire Spinners Elements, which is a merino tencel blend. It's a double knitting weight yarn, and we are doing a long line cardigan with a really interesting slip drop stitch. Confusing, it's really confusing. Once you've done it a few times it makes sense. Cardigan. But I've untangled it, so that will be done. Yes, it will be done. It is a work sample. There's no question about it. Let's see, what else have I got going on? So much. This is the hoodie. It's in this one. That's the hoodie I'm doing for this little boy. And I've also been asked to do, where are they? That jumper for my godson and his sister. I'm obviously not going to do the lace detail for my godson, but we're going to have it in, it's called the Carousel, and it is going to be in, there you go, so it's going to be that version. So it's straight back and front, and Rosie's going to have hot pink and Oliver's going to have red. So I'm not sure when that will happen, but it will at some point. Right, next, I don't appear to have a copy of the pattern to hand, which is, oh no, there we do. Again, it's a work project, it's a new cast on. We are actually getting Mary Wallin's British Breeds yarn at work. Now, it's spun by John Arbord in Devon, and it is 100% British wool. What does it say? Blueface Leicester, Exmoor, Wensleydale and Zorballs sheep breeds, and it is really soft considering it's very woolly. 25 gram balls, and I have got a variety of colours here for what is going to become the wren sweater, and I've got some of the other colours. There we are. So these, oh, it's showing up really nicely on camera. I hope it shows up as well when I actually do the filming thing. And then my main colour is Ocean, this really nice deep blue. So hopefully that will look good. There's also grey as well, light grey in there. And this is what I'm doing, the wren sweater. So we've got a number of Marie Wallin's books that we've brought in, but this was a pattern that she designed for Bahram U some years ago, and we've got a few in stock, and I thought I'd do that. I thought it'd be top down. Actually it's not, it's bottom up. So I've cast on the rib, and it is, I realised it's going to take me forever to get to this bit, and this is the bit I want to show in the shop customers what's going on. I just want to have a yoke sort of hanging there. So Vic told me to carry on with the rib, don't waste my efforts at casting on. Get the rib done, put that on a lifeline, and then he's going to show me again how to do a provisional cast on. I have done it before, but not for quite some time. So I'm going to do a provisional cast on here, and then I'm going to work up and do the yoke. And just then when I come back to knitting the body and the sleeves, I will be doing the yoke can be hanging out in the shop, being beautiful and modelling how lovely the yarn is. So there's a closer up of the yoke. It's absolutely stunning. I have long admired Marie Wallin's patterns. They're so, so beautiful. I've always been a bit scared of them. I'm fairly new to colour work, because that's one of the brilliant things about knitting, is that there's always something new to learn. I've been knitting for over 30 years now, which is a bit scary to think I'm old enough to say that, but I have been knitting for over 30 years. But there's still so much that I've never done and so much to learn, and I can do quite a lot, so it's very exciting. This would have been just forgotten and put by the wayside if it hadn't been for the option of doing the provisional cast on, because the thought of doing that sea of blue stocking stitch, while it would have been great TV/tired knitting, I want the yoke. It's the yoke that I want. So yeah, so thank you to Vic. That will become an actual sweater. Now, I know the one you all want to know about is the slip extravaganza. I was going great guns on this last year. I wanted it done before, whoops, the yarn has just got everywhere. I wanted it done before the Shawlography Mystery Knit Along by Stephen West started. Forgive me looking down, I'm trying to untangle the yarn from around the millions of stitch markers. And I was going great guns. I was actually getting the chevrons done. It was going really well, and I was doing it in hospital when I was getting ready to have my son. It sparked some really interesting conversations with all the midwives who were like, what is a mystery make along, and why would you want to do it, and what do you mean there's thousands of people that join in? It was really, really fun to talk about. Oh, my tip is coming unscrewed as well. That's not good, is it? And then I just ground to a halt. I haven't touched it since I was in the hospital. And then the Shawlography came out, and yeah, so I was determined to do the 6 chevrons, absolutely determined, but I just want this done now. I want the finished piece. I'm quite happy with the 3. I think that's going to be plenty big enough for me. So I put it down because I had my son, I didn't have the brain space, and I've picked it up a couple of times since, but the thing that's stopping me doing it and working on it, to be perfectly honest, the main thing that's stopping me doing that is that each row takes about an hour and a half now, and I don't have that much knitting time. And I think I spoke about this on a previous podcast, that one of the reasons I put it down is because where each row was taking me so long and I was podcasting, I felt this obligation to have something to show you, and so I didn't work on it. I worked on other things that I could show more progress more quickly, and it had the ultimate effect that I never had anything to show you. I never made any progress on it. So this is coming out of hibernation. No, I am not joining in with the new make along, as tempting as it is. I'm not joining in. I have too many other things for very important people that I want to work on, but it will happen. For example, and this is very nearly a finished object, my rainbow crochet blanket. Ooh, there we go. Which I am doing for my friend Mina, who is the knitting expat. More accurately, I'm doing it for her baby girl, who is 12 weeks old today. But she was born in a heat wave. She did not need a woolly crocheted blanket, and I defy anyone who tells me otherwise. But I am now on the final round, so I've just got to do grey, and then I'm going to do a double crochet border, just rounds of doubles in a couple of the rainbow colours that I happen to have left over. It's just a plain granny square. I love granny square blankets, they're really satisfying, and actually I need to get another one on my hook because Robin wasn't very well last week, and actually there's something really comforting about curling up the crochet blanket when you're not feeling well, and so he's going to need one. So that is that, and that is nearly finished. Next is my Morton Street cowl, which has become that. This is a kit from my friend Jem, the little grey girl. I bought this stunning bag. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I've got the matching Notions pouch as well, because why wouldn't you? I I love her bags, I really do. And I bought the yarn at her trunk show and I cast it on, but I made the mistake of casting on at sit and stitch night. And what you do is you hold this one double with this one and you end up with this really beautiful muted cowl. And it's kind of like a bandana shaped cowl, Morton Street cowl. I think it's called Morton Street cowl. Hope it is. And this is just, it's just divine. I'm lucky enough that I get to hang out with Jem and quite often see her yarns and see her yarns happening, like while she's dyeing them. I've wound minis for her and done things like that, you know, because we all help each other out in the indie world. And we're neighbours, or were neighbours. She's kind of moved, which is really rude. But she had a trunk show at my shop and it was an amazing trunk show, and so many of us just fell in love with her colourways, and it was a real privilege to be able to introduce her to lots of other people. But I got lost and confused, so I pulled it back. Will it be cast on again? Yes. This side of Christmas? No. I've got other things that I need to do, but this is definitely, I mean, you don't drop 40 quid onto these skeins of yarn and not make the project, do you? Really? So that will happen. Now, is that everything? No, hang on, there's another one. Now, I don't have the main body to show you of this. What else have I got to show you? Rosa, Julia Cardi's in there. Woolly, what does that say? Woolly Badger shawl, that's upstairs. Yeah, there are things that I'm missing on the whipboard that I can't read, but these are all the ones I could find. Bamba shawls upstairs somewhere. So there are a couple that I can't show you. But this one is the architecture sweater. Long-term viewers may remember I cast this on probably about 2 years ago. We were going to stock this yarn. This is the Croft Wild, Croft Shetland Wild from West Yorkshire Spinners. It's a roving and it's kind of ombre, but it's still done by Jameson Shetland. Now I was going to cast this on. Oh, I cast it on because we were going to stock the yarn, and I was going to get it just in the spring, like the cold bit of spring, but then the pandemic started and I just thought, well, we got locked down, and that's why I put it to one side. So I did the back and then I put it to one side because I thought, what's the point, frankly, because I'm not going to have the yarn for ages. So I moved on to other things. However, I now have the yarn. I put the back, which is a whip, into the shop as a sample because whips can be samples, and I cast on the front. I've actually cast on the front once before, but I misread the pattern and cast it on the wrong size needles, and obviously it made a difference because I'd already done one side, and so one side was wider than the other, and so I had to frog it, and I just left it until this past Thursday, actually, because we've just got the yarn in store, and I thought I'd take it out again. But there we are, and this is living in my yarn dispensary bag, which is custom made for us. I don't know if you can tell, but it's sparkly. Woo! It's custom made for us, a really nice sturdy box bottom canvas bag, and I absolutely love it, so I snapped one of those up for myself. And that is that. So let's have a look. There are lots of things that I want to do going forwards, lots of things I want to cast on for the Great Winter Cast On. I've tried casting on a hat for one of the girls in Robin's nursery who's going on maternity leave. I've cast it on 3 times and keep screwing it up, so I've come to the conclusion it does not want to be cast on. So far the only thing I've cast on for the Great Winter Cast On is a sock sample or a swatch sample, and I'm still undecided as to whether I'm just going to turn this into an actual sock or not. I don't know, I really don't know, but yeah, so that's it. I mean, I don't know what your whip situation is like. I don't know, as you can see, I'm intending on frogging none of these. They are all going to be made. I want the finished object for all of them, and for some, I don't often frog things. I don't often say, do you know what, this isn't something I'm going to make. I mean, the Morton Street cowl has been frogged, but I know I very much want that in the future. So yeah, Why are your whips whips? Why have you abandoned them? And will you do them again? Let me know, and I will speak to you very, very soon. Take care. Bye.